Hey, super sleuths. Welcome to America's Most Wanted, but make it fun. I'm your host, Detective Chuckles. Today we're embarking on a thrilling journey, delving into the lives of the FBI's top 5 most elusive characters. And don't worry, this isn't your standard crime show. We're going to keep things light and entertaining while we unravel the mysteries of these wanted individuals. We'll count down from 5 to 1, revealing the quirkiest and most perplexing details about each one. So grab your notepads and let's get sleuthing. At number 5, we've got Arnoldo Jimenez. Now this is a tale that gives a whole new meaning to the phrase runaway groom. Picture this. It's the day of his wedding, the cake is cut, the champagne is popped, and the couple shares their first dance. But as the night unfolds, something sinister lurks in the background. Love, it seems, was not part of the plan for our friend Arnoldo. Instead of embarking on a blissful honeymoon, Arnoldo allegedly takes a detour down a dark path. Our groom doesn't just get cold feet, he leaves his bride with a chilling memory that's far from matrimonial bliss. Jimenez, it seems, has a knack for the dramatic exit. But unlike most of us who might ghost an old flame or skip out on a boring party, he takes his disappearing act to the extreme. He vanishes, leaving behind a trail of questions and a newlywed wife in shock. Now this isn't your typical boy meets girl, boy marries girl, boy becomes fugitive story. No, this is a tale of intrigue, a tale of mystery, a tale that has landed Arnoldo Jimenez as number 5 on our list. This man, who once stood at the altar, promising to love and cherish, now stands on the FBI's most wanted list. And it's not for failing to send thank you notes after the wedding. So, if you happen to cross paths with our number 5 fugitive, remember this. Arnoldo Jimenez is not your go-to guy for marriage advice. In fact, he's probably the last person you'd want to ask. This is a man who has turned the concept of till death do us part into a grim reality. And while we all love a good mystery, this is one wedding story that's more horror than romance. So keep your eyes peeled, and if you spot him, don't ask for marriage advice. Rolling in at number 4 is Alexis Flores. Now this fellow has been playing the world's longest game of hide-and-seek since the turn of the millennium. No one has shouted "Ollie Ollie oxen free" for Alexis, and for good reason. Alexis is wanted for crimes so heinous that they would make even the hardest-boiled detective's skin crawl. He's not hiding because he's shy, no sir. He's got the FBI hot on his tail, and they're itching to say, "Tag, you're it." Now we're not talking about a friendly neighborhood game of tag here. This is the big leagues. The FBI has been chasing Alexis's shadow for over 2 decades now, and they're not about to give up. This is one game where being it is the last thing you want. But here's the kicker. Despite his notorious reputation, Alexis has managed to remain elusive. He's slipped through the cracks, ducked under the radar, and given the authorities the slip time and time again. He's a regular Houdini of the criminal underworld. But every game has to come to an end eventually, right? The FBI is determined to make that tag, and they're counting on you, the vigilant public, to help them out. So keep your eyes peeled, your ears open, and your senses sharp. You never know when you might catch a glimpse of our number 4 fugitive. Now remember, we're not encouraging vigilante justice here. If you do spot Alexis, don't try to apprehend him yourself. Leave that to the professionals. Just note down as much information as you can. What he looks like, what he's wearing, where you saw him, and contact the authorities. In this game of high-stakes hide and seek, every little bit helps. Who knows? You might just be the one to make that crucial tag, so let's help them make the tag. Number 3 is Yulan Adne Archega Carrillas, also known as the Boss of Bosses. Now when you hear Boss of Bosses, you might think of a stern, cigar-smoking gent in a 3-piece suit, but let's set the record straight. This isn't some thrilling mafia movie, and Yulan isn't a fan of Marlon Brando impressions. Instead, our number 3 fugitive is a notorious gang leader, dealing in goods that are a touch hotter than your Aunt Patty's infamous 5-alarm chili. That's right, folks, Yulan has been stirring up a spicy stew of trouble, and the FBI is eager to turn down the heat. Now, our Boss of Bosses has a knack for staying under the radar, running his illicit operation with an iron fist and a cloaked identity. Despite his elusive nature, he couldn't quite keep the lid on his hot pot of crime. His name bubbled up to the top of the FBI's most wanted list, and now they're on a mission to put his fiery reign on ice. But here's the kicker. Despite his dangerous endeavors, Yulan's been known to enjoy a good feast. Rumor has it, he's got a soft spot for a home-cooked meal. But before you invite him over for Sunday dinner, remember, he's a little more Breaking Bad than Leave It to Beaver. So, if you happen to see Yulan Adne Archega Carrillas, maybe at your local grocery store buying a suspicious amount of chili powder, don't invite him to your next potluck. Instead, give the professionals a call. They've got a knack for cooling down these hot situations. And there you have it, folks. Our number 3 fugitive. A spicy character indeed, but remember, this isn't a chili cook-off. It's real life, and our boss of bosses is a little too hot to handle. Remember, if you see him, it's not time for a potluck. In second place, we have Bhadresh Kumar Chetanbhai Patel. Now, this gentleman has given a whole new meaning to the phrase, a bad day at the office. You see, Bhadresh Kumar was working the night shift at his local donut shop when he decided to add a little extra crunch to his duties. And by crunch, I mean an alleged crime that's far from sweet. Now I know what you're thinking. A donut shop? Really? But let me assure you, this is no ordinary hole-in-the-wall tale. Our man Bhadresh Kumar took the age-old vow of "till death do us part" a bit too seriously. And where did he choose to enact this grim interpretation? You guessed it, right in the middle of a Dunkin' Donuts. Now, before you start eyeing your morning cruller with suspicion, let me be clear. This isn't a common occurrence in the donut world. Our fugitive, it seems, simply had a deep-fried meltdown. But here's where the story takes a twist. After the incident, Bhadresh Kumar, like a ghostly apparition in a powdered sugar haze, simply vanished. Poof, just like that. He slipped out of the back door and hasn't been seen since. Talk about leaving everyone with a sour taste in their mouths. So where is our donut desperado now? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Bhadresh Kumar could be anywhere, sprinkling himself across the globe like the sprinkles on your favorite frosted treat. And while we may chuckle at the absurdity of it all, remember, this is serious business. So, if you find yourself in line for a latte and the guy behind the counter seems a little too keen on the Boston creams, take a second look. It might just be Bhadresh Kumar, waiting to add another twist to his doughy saga. If you find him, maybe we can trade him in for a dozen glazed ones? And drumroll, please. The most wanted person is Ruja Ignatova, the crypto queen. Now, you might think a queen would be sitting on a throne, not running from the law, but this is no ordinary royal tale. This queen made a kingdom in the virtual world of cryptocurrency, and boy did she coin a fortune. In the world of bits and bytes, she created a currency so unique, so one of a kind, it was named OneCoin. Thousands flocked to invest their hard-earned cash, hoping for a golden ticket to the land of riches. But alas, it was a castle built on sand. The coin, much like our crypto queen, has since disappeared. Now Ignatova is wanted for what's being called one of the biggest scams in history, duping investors out of billions. Talk about a plot twist. But folks, this is no fairy tale, and Ignatova is no damsel in distress. She's a fugitive, wanted by the FBI, and she's proving to be as elusive as her infamous OneCoin. Despite the high stakes, there's a comical irony to this tale. The queen who promised to make people rich left many counting their losses. So if you spot her, don't expect financial advice unless you want to make your savings vanish too. All right, gumshoes, that wraps up our countdown. These folks might have given us a chuckle, but remember, they're real criminals playing a high-stakes game of hide and seek. If you've got a hot tip, don't try to tag them yourself. Call in the pros. That's all for today's episode of America's Most Wanted, but make it fun. Don't forget to share a laugh and keep those peepers peeled. Until next time, keep your wits sharp and your humor sharper.